Hello, Internet. It's me, Christopher Sambrook, here with a quick spoiler-free review of The Incredible Hulk 2. Captain America, Brave New World. That's right, because the movie's about him, I think. The main plot starts with Thaddeus Ross having been elected as president. He now tasks our new Cap, Sam Wilson, to stop a rogue team from selling stolen materials from the Japanese. Then during a summit at the White House, an attack occurs, revealing a larger conspiracy. Captain America and the new Falcon, Joaquin Torres, with the help of their new allies, work to uncover the mastermind's plan, ultimately leading to a confrontation that puts lives and international relations at risk. In the end, the plot culminates in a significant clash involving the futures of the Avengers and the international treaty that regulates the mysterious new metal being mined from the Celestial laying dead in the Indian Ocean, courtesy of the Eternals. This movie seems to serve the purpose of tying up previous loose ends, particularly that in The Incredible Hulk, but also acknowledging other movies that no longer seem to be on the Marvel timetable. While watching it, you can't shake the feeling that this was a 7th episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, while simultaneously mashing in the outline of a Hulk sequel that for some reason does not feature the Hulk. And while the show explored heavy racial themes in the political landscape, this movie does continue to expand on that and does tie it up nicely by the end. However, when it comes to the bad guys though, they are all Incredible Hulk related, and only involves Captain America because he happened to be the hero on duty at the time. And that greatly distracts from the main character. You'd be forgiven if you kept forgetting what movie it is as a result. That being said, the character building and relationships do feel genuine between the good guys of the film and gives a good introduction to the new Falcon and Ruth Bat Sareth. Anthony Mackie brings his energy from the TV show and builds upon it while he explores what it means to be Captain America. His relationship as a friend and as a mentor to the new Falcon is refreshing to see. And Carl Lumbly does also return from the show as Isaiah Bradley, and unfortunately his story feels like a side note, which is a shame given that his performance was nothing short of perfect. And Giancarlo Esposito is frankly a joy to watch every second he's on screen. While his villain arc is cut short, I'm sure this isn't the last we'll see of him. And honestly, it would be a lost opportunity for Disney to not bring him back. He truly was one of the highlights of the movie. Now we also have Harrison Ford stepping in for William Hurt as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the villainous Hulk hunter, then turned Avenger hunter in Civil War. Now as president, he struggles to put his dark past behind him and do what is necessary to help America step into the future with a strong new material. However, I'm not sure if it's wrong of me to point out how old Harrison Ford is getting. There are scenes that you can tell he's had a good day, and then there are others that he's clearly just phoning it in. We also have another villain returning that also misses the mark. For spoiler purposes, I won't reveal much, but ultimately, his character is disappointingly the opposite of a genius that he's depicted to be. Silly mistakes come from him getting too personal with his agenda, along with poorly explained powers and weird timeline. And finally, we do get a quick cameo from Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, as a new congressman. Because that's what America does apparently. Elect mass murderers and problematic war generals to public officials. Makes no sense, but for Bucky, his presence is short and clearly for setup purposes. For the overall pros, there was a few themes relating to race and the shady political past of the government that was well executed. Especially for Sam Wilson's struggle to fill Steve's shoes as a black man in a world that doesn't care for a black man as America's symbol for peace and strength. The introduction of the new Falcon was accomplished and didn't feel forced. There are some good Easter eggs that act as a prelude for things to come that can generate some excitement, though that is something we have come to expect with the MCU. And I did find myself enjoying the soundtrack more than I thought I would. The cons, however, may differ from person to person depending on your connection to the MCU. Superfans may be angry at the misuse of some characters, while casual moviegoers may get confused by the convoluted storyline. My biggest gripe is that Sam's story isn't really elevated, and we didn't even get to see his reaction to finding out about the death of some of his friends, which does the movie a disservice by not giving him an emotional boost and a bigger personal stake. In fact, some of the deaths were shockingly ignored. It's like they forgot who the focus of the movie was. It is clear that the script had many writers that did not consult with one another about key details and themes, and the heavy CG usage didn't help us distract from it. In fact, the CGI was distracting in another way entirely. Personally, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I wanted to give it more for some of the select performances by Carl Lumbly and Giancarlo Esposito, but with them being minor characters, it goes to show how Disney felt about their characters' impact to the story. The CGI ranges from decent to pretty good most of the time, despite the final CGI fight fest making us feel like we're watching a scene from a video game, but is made up for with the aerial battle scene in the Indian Ocean. The score and soundtrack are absolute fire. Disney did not disappoint there. So I'd say this is a must-see for all Cap fans regardless of his flaws, but if you're a casual MCU viewer, maybe give this one a skip.